Good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you to the post-lunch session of day 3 of Atal FDP on leadership and excellence, a need in an era of disruptive transformation. So I think our number has crossed half century. So I would request Bhagwati, shall we go ahead or we should wait for a few more minutes?
We shall start.
Okay, sir. So I have made you the co-host, sir. If you can come on video, that will be nice for all of us.
Yeah.
Great.
If
Yeah,
the
great
other
to have you,
persons
sir.
are also-
I think Hilol sir has also joined us. I will also going to make him the co-host as well. So
I suggest I have given the list of name. If they can also access video and audio.
yeah, so I think now you are the co-host, sir. You can also do that. In the meantime, I will share your bio with all the participants and all. If you wish, or if you want my help, I will do that. No issue. You just please tell me the name.
Please do that, sir.
Please go ahead. Please tell me the name. I will do that right now.
Yeah, I put it on chat box.
Okay, you have done that.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay. I think you have shared one name. I have done that. Because I joined late, so maybe all other names might got have erased. If you can come again, sir, one more time. I will do that. Or I will see the, okay. Yeah, I could see few experts here. I will do that. Done. Yes. And I would request all the co-hosts to please come on video. That will be good for all of us.
Yeah.
So I could not see the first name. If I see
All are
the
here.
that
Yes, no issues.
So if I see the that event leaflet, Shivashish ji is here, Satyavrat ji is here, Deepti ji is here, and Biswa Ranjan ji is here. I think I have made co-host to all of them. Let me check. Yeah. Yeah. I think now we should start. Great. Thank you. So I think hello sir. I hope you have checked the names. That's fine.
Yeah,
Sir.
yeah.
Go ahead.
All of this are fine. You can go.
Fine, great,
Yeah.
great. I once again welcome all the participants of Atal FDP and the Institutions Innovation Council at CGU. First, to inform you that it is a joint event organized by the Atal FDP organizing team and the Institutions Innovation Council at CGU Odisha. We have just aligned the topic on which we are working on. So it will be a panel discussion with the startup leaders here. So we were talking about leadership and all other key points, and why not to talk to the leaders straight away? So they are the young leaders joining us with us, and they will be sharing their journey and all other learnings with all of us. So to moderate this session, we have Bhagwati ji with us. So give me a second, I will be sharing my screen, and a brief bio should be here. Yeah. So it will be on leadership in the recent transformational world. So it will go align with the theme of this FDP, that this transformational is very important here because it has leveled up the requirement of the leaders here. So we will be talking around this theme only. So our moderator for the session, VP Patnaik ji, is currently the CEO of CGU Incubators, Odisha. He's an MTech in energy and MBA in marketing. He had started his professional career with Indian and generator tycoons like Cummins Perkins way back in 2004 as a business promotion executive. And also keeping a diversified interest, he nurtured his interest of teaching in one of the premier engineering institutions in the state of Odisha, and spent a decade there and spent most of the time with the development, training, and the project consulting with the student. And I could recently saw one of his WhatsApp status, his old student has just met him, and also I could see that kind of what we can say sincerity the student is still showing to him. It speaks a lot. And after that, he's bringing diversification to his career. Patnaik ji has joined the MSME Government of India Technology Center as a project consultant for deploying various government projects in rural cluster and to project with Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing in the core. And he's also being keen in bringing the sustainable livelihood in a rural coastal area. In that, he has surveyed more than 100 villages of the state Odisha to understand the livelihood and its energy requirements. He has been integral in developing 2 smart villages in the state of Odisha with successful cyber, physical, and social model. Most probably, he will be sharing some of it in this interaction as well. He has also mentored more than 15 startups and working at grassroots level towards making Odisha a startup hub. Being a part of IAC, I also know the kind of rigor he's doing in this all kind of activity. He's been working with Head Start Network Foundation Bangalore as a volunteer to nurture and promote the entrepreneurship. So with this, I think Bhagwati ji, I will stop my sharing, and before I bring you and hand over this virtual dice, I would request Dr. Hilol Jordar, our Institution Innovation Council convener, who is also playing a very vital role in organizing this kind of activities, to come in and say some words. Thank you, sir. Hilol sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon to all of you. I would like to extend a warm greetings to all the attendees as well as the distinguished panelists in this session. Actually, that already Professor Gopalia has already told that this is the joint venture. That is a collaboration with that Atal FDP as well as that IIC team. So what is the IIC role? And just as a convener of that IIC CGU, I just briefly discuss about that. IIC's roles is to engage large number of faculties, students, as well as the staff member in various innovation and entrepreneurship related to the activities such as ideation, problem statement, that IPR, design thinking, proof of concept development, project handling, and the management at the pre-incubation and the incubation stages. So in the that IIC CGU was established in the year of 2018 under the direction of the Ministry of Human Resources Development, which one right now that is in MOE, Ministry of Education, and that IIC CGU means that in the last couple of years they have succeeded a lot. That IIC CGU have secured 4-star rating out of 5-star in the last consecutive years. So actually, I don't take much more time of that because I know that where the moderator is that. Patnaik sir, so definitely that session will be very interesting because I had attended that so many program of his. So we are looking forward to hearing from you in the next few hours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hilol sir. And I think Bhagwati ji, before I hand over to you, I just want to just inform you that we have a wide audience from pan-India spread. We have senior faculty from dean and the, we can say, director level to a very starting buddies who have just finished the PhD and joining the teaching profession. We also have a few people from industry. We have also a few people from placements and all. So you have a wide diversified audience from my side at the Atal FDP team, and along with your students. So whenever you require, you feel free to bring in anybody for an interaction and all. So for the moment, I will, if you agree, I will take away the right of starting the video and unmuting themselves, or you are okay with that? Please, you just take a call.
Pardon, I couldn't understand you.
See, whether we should allow the participant to anytime switch on the video and unmute themselves to come in, or I will take away the right and give it to host only. They can raise the hand and they can come in.
We will have a Q&A and then we can do that.
Okay, so I will stop the video and the unmute option. They can always raise their hand, and in between you can bring them for the interaction.
Sure, sure.
Okay, thank you, Bhagwati ji. Now it's this virtual dice is all yours. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Atal FDP and Dr. Gopalia and IIC CGU for promoting entrepreneurship and leadership. And Dr. Gopalia and me, even Dr. Hilol, we discussed to bring this subject, which hasn't yet been discussed in this verse of our discussion, like promoting entrepreneurs as the new as leaders. I would say what kind of role they are playing to be called as leaders in today's world. To kickstart with, I would say the world is taking a transformation in many fronts of its being. And nature has been stressed, consumed since hundreds of years. Things have come to an edge of criticality, maybe pollution, climate change, chemical, cultivation, losing fertility of soil, pandemic exposing state of healthcare, population pollution, to its ness, and things like worsening day after day. There is a silent, unsung tribe of folks who are really putting their day and night to bring in sustainability into our lives and making the world a better place to dwell in. They are the last benches of the campus. They are the bunch of unappreciated, unpreferred guys in the campus. They didn't attend all classes. They learned from use cases. They taught different and out of box. They struggle, they fail, they fight back, and they win. They impact, they example a different leadership throughout altogether. They are the leaders of the faster transforming world, play the most vital role making the world a better place. Let me welcome the bunch of youngsters, the thought leaders of tomorrow, and mighty entrepreneurs and enablers of the startup and entrepreneur ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me introduce the young panel of today's session. We have Satyabrat Satpathy, who is from Bonvi, is the CEO of Bonvi, making eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing. These are the drones which has a capacity of lifting 50 to 200 kgs, and also the drones will be at last. The last product will be a manned, flying taxi. They are looking at. One of the three odds from India. There are a couple of companies there in India who are working in this, and nobody has yet come to the range of 50 to 200 what Bonvi has come up now. They are from Eastern India. They are going out to rest of the world from Bhubaneswar itself. They have their hangar in Bhubaneswar and bringing some very sustainable changes into the very populated traffics, the disasters happening around. They are playing a role in defense. They are playing a role in tourism. They are playing a role in logistics, which is very critically playing, very importance in our life on day to day. Thank you, Satyabrat, for being there with us. We have Deepthi from Mo Ambulance. Deepthi is again doing a great job in healthcare, which is again a very much transformational space now in the world, who is putting around, putting down the clock to maximize the golden hour of the health emergency, the last hour where maximum, can be afforded to save somebody's life is the golden hour of the health emergency by managing ambulances through his services, bringing in certain innovations into the ambulances. Thank you, Deepthi, for being there with us. Here we have a fast bencher. We can't always ignore them. From this forum of startups and entrepreneurs, as I told, they are the last benches. But we have an IITian from IIT Bhubaneswar. A bunch of IITians came together and working in their biotech space to produce some sort of a biomix which can clean your water and help you cleaning the local water bodies, and also is been a very important ingredient in aquaponics. And these IITians, they are not just researchers in the lab. They have gone down to the ground, they have tested with thousands of acres of aqua lands and have given a difference in producing very healthy and a good conversion of aqua crops. Thank you, Dr. Pradhan, being with us to share your bio till now and your goals in future. Thanks a lot. The youngest in the panel, we have Sebasius, who is also disturbed with the situation of COVID-19 pandemic, and have equipped the cheapest and accurate basic healthcare instrument that somebody supposes at their home to know and understand the regular health status from home. We are dealing multiple devices at home in pandemic to know where we are and what's our status. We should go to the hospital, what medicines we should take. So Sebasius is trying putting all those into one small, cabinet and making it affordable for people to operate and also cost to know their time health status at home, and also a periphery of services around the device. Thank you, Sebasius, for putting your efforts to bring the transformational healthcare space affordable. The most important but never appreciated tribe in the whole process of innovation and transformational leadership is the incubator. The incubator plays the role of a change catalyst, bringing in all ideas and nurturing them with the right ingredients throughout the time to let them to the space to serve on a particular problem, to bring an impact in the space, bring an impact in the world. We identify the right and appropriate conditions for optimal growth and bring the right strategy and strategic partners to build the next level of these ideas in appropriate time. Putul is one of the keen change catalysts from the ecosystem, who drives startups for their day-to-day executions by her virtue itself. Thank you, Putul, for putting all your interest, bringing in changes in this idea, in these ideas and these aspired innovators to take them to the next level. With this introduction of these all, the news and leaders and the transformational world leadership clan, I request the panelists to bring in their aspect of their own contribution. How do they contribute to this transformational leadership? How do they look at the current transformational world and feel like to kickstart, to solve a problem and bring in solutions for the segments suffering from the kind of a problem, for the whole world bringing in sustainability in various space of problems. I would request Satyabrat from Banvi to just say what kind of changes they would like to bring in with the kind of idea they're working in, and what's their status now, and how do they look the space evolving with them and the competitors and the enablers and stakeholders around in coming days. Satyabrat, please.
Thank you, Bhagwati sir. Thank you for inviting me to this panel, and let me start with the problem that we trying to address, and let's look at how deep is that problem, who are the sufferers of that problem, and how Bonvi is trying to solve that, right? So see the hilly terrains today, and those hilly challenging terrains of our border areas, right, that are logistics nightmare. In these terrains, Indian Defence Forces employs around 15,000 porters annually to carry supplies to their posts and villages. So imagine each of these porters doing number of trips a day, and if you look at how many trips they can do per day, which is maximum comes out to be 2 or 3 trips. It is particularly because the condition of the terrain and the weather that they go through in the winters, right? Imagine the soldiers who are protecting us, right, our borders and protecting our nation day and night, are not getting fresh food. In winters, they are eating like frozen foods which are 6 months old. Isn't it a misery? So to solve that burning problem, we ran a calculation at Bonvi, and we looked at, we did simple maths of number of people utilized, number of trips that is happening, or number of basically, transport that a person is doing, a mule or a porter or a pony is doing per day. And looking at the, an electric aircraft, right, an electric large version of drone, which can carry around 200 kgs of cargo load, we looked at this number comes out to be around 3,000 vehicles, right, and in much less time, right? So if you look at that's close to 1,000% more efficient, and at the same time it is carbon free, sustainable, right? So from there, let's look at a bigger problem today, okay, which is our basically, our you say the deliveries, the basically, the logistic deliveries, or particularly, the ones that you're getting from Amazon and Flipkarts, right? The e-commerce deliveries, right? There are millions of deliveries that is happening every day, right? And the amount that is gone, during those transports, right? And when people, so the survey says basically people are looking for same day deliveries. More than 40% people and more than 60% people, when they order, they want to get that they get those products within 2 to 3 hours, right? So there is a huge expectation from people to get the product that they order from e-commerce cart coming and reaching their hand so quickly, right? And if you apply further towards people transportations, right, towards medical emergencies, where organ transportations, or towards during the disaster relief, and people transportations in very hilly areas, people transportation urban and rural areas, then going between city to cities, people transportations, and at the same time when it is carbon free, you will see an astonishing new vista opens before your eyes, right? And with this I would conclude. I see that our Bonvi aircraft can change the skies whenever it flies. Thank you.
Thank you, Satyabrat, for solving a couple of certain very important issues around, starting from the border to the the hillies to the disasters, and also into the urbans for solving the human transportation and logistics. Really, it thinks to be. It seems to be you're solving a spectrum of problems with one solution proposed from you, and bringing in transformations together to make it affordable to meet the quick changing world. Thanks a lot. We'll come back to you again post introduction to all the entrepreneurial leaders. I would request the CEO of Mo Ambulance, who is putting a different approach to solve certain healthcare issues and to maximize the possibilities of saving your life at the end hour of the health emergency. Dipti, I would like you to discuss what kind of change you could bring in with your kind of concept into the healthcare sector. Can you please put some light on it?
Thank you, Bhagwati sir, for giving this opportunity to elaborate. Basically, my background is public health specialist. So I am from 2003-04. I've been into this public health specialty with rest at the grassroots level. So if you look at the healthcare services, we have two verticals majorly. One is the general healthcare services, another is the emergency healthcare services. But in the emergency healthcare services, so one is if you look at the infrastructure available, paramedical, doctors, everything. But another component is the ambulance sector. So during the COVID, it has shown how vital this ambulance service. So looking at the gap, like the current available, mostly we are getting this ambulance through this telephone or toll-free number or any type of relationship, where is the ambulance, something else. But if we have the technology, but nobody has integrated. So we have the guideline, let's say WHO has guideline 60 minutes, which is the golden hour. And that is also divisible on the basis of 20 minutes reaching at the hospital and taking to the hospital from the home to the hospital 40 minutes. And it is also as per the rural and urban sector. But nobody has no community, nobody they aware about this here. Even also during the critical time, this is the vital period to minimize this criticalness. So on that basis, I have a gap assessment with respect to life saving. So I have introduced taking this end-to-end solution, like integration of this OLA concept along with the hospital concept. Like this is a purely integration. Like suppose if we can fix any hospital destination that will give alert to the hospital, so that the hospital should aware that some patient is coming, so that it can be avoid the crowd, emergency care, all the support. So this is basically a purely application oriented aggregator model. This is purely end-to-end, like user will access the hospital, availability of the ambulance nearby, and also different types of ambulance, and with respect to the quality of ambulance. So all this, and also at the back end, we are having like traffic control, because when ambulance is moving on the way, we need to look at the traffic control mechanism, because that has to be minimized. So on that basis, this is purely aggregator model, and in the future we are coming up with the IoT integration in the ambulance, so that is also another which we can minimize, not only minimize, we can stable the patient on the way to hospital also. So this is all about this emergency healthcare with respect to the ambulance application. Thank you. So over to.
That's great. That's great, Dipti. Actually, it's a very small correction, bringing in a very huge distort system, which organizes a lot of things. And everybody seems bro-raised that, oh, this could have happened. And Dipti also bringing in multiple other services attached to this, and also certain devising into the ambulances where they can track the patient starting from his home to the hospital, what measures to be taken, what readiness has to be availed in the hospital, and all that. So this very correction was needed in the space of health emergency to maximize the efforts at the last hour of saving someone's life. Thank you, Dipti, for thinking this out of box coordination, bringing in which are there in place but nobody was thinking of, and bringing in a very significant change in the space. Thanks a lot. We also have Dr. Vishwaranjan Pradhan, who is from Bhubaneswar IIT, and as I discussed, he's solving certain environmental and agricultural issues by his own biotechnology innovation. Not to speak more on that, when the person himself, the inventor himself, is there. Dr. Pradhan, I would like you to discuss how did you land on this problem, and how did you get the motivation, and how you are taking it to people now, and what's your plans in coming days? Can you please share with us?
Good afternoon, everybody. So thank you, Dr. Thank you, Bhagwatji and AICC Raman, for giving me this opportunity to tell about our startup. So the initial this motivation, particularly to work on this area, was initially came to my mind when actually we do various outreach programs from our institutes. Through that, actually, because I belong to this Puri district, which is besides Chilka, and over years I have seen how this water body is getting degraded, and the nearby rivers, which are in the regions from Puri, Bhubaneswar, and Cuttack. So how these municipality wastes are, purely is polluting the rivers, and in turn it is polluting the water body in Chilka. And apart from this, the other contributing factor for this water pollution is the people who are doing aquaculture all around the Chilka Lake. So what the people are doing in both ways, okay, in the public water bodies, people are actually releasing the municipal wastes directly into the water, and in the aquaculture sector, people, applying various chemicals, various fertilizers to their aquaculture field, and releasing the water into various channels to again, which is actually accumulated there in Chilka. So in that way, actually, we got actually the this thing. Okay, so how we can actually tackle this problem to solve particularly both this aquaculture problem as well as to solve the public water body cleanliness. So for that, we have actually collected the samples from various places, and we see okay how and in what way this particular system is getting degraded. So the vital thing, this nature itself is resilient enough to take it back. Whatever the things being polluting itself, the nature itself can actually purify itself, but it will take lots and lots of time. But if we keep on polluting the nature, okay, so the resilience has a limit, which once it is crossed, then the sustainability has gone. So to make a sustainable aquaculture system, okay, so after testing and working for 4 to 5 years in this region, so we have invented a core microbiome, so which can actually take care of naturally purify both water as well as the soil, and make the soil fertile enough for aquaculture for hundreds of years without degrading the quality of the soil. So our first product, it is mostly the microbiomics, which is a mixture of some of the herbal extracts as well as a core microbiota, and that is being in 2021 June, we have introduced this particular product in Brahmagir, so which is beside Silka again. So they are actually during our field trials, we have selected or transformed the lives of 30 farmers free of cost in 2020. So the people who were actually observing this particular phenomena, that actually how these people are actually changing these aquaculture fields or the wasted aquaculture fields over time. So they are the one who adopted our product in 2021 June, and by November we have actually transformed the lives of 550 farmers comprising 1,000 acres of aquaculture land. So where they did the aquaculture using the medicines or the organic medicines from our company, which is known as microbiomics, and they have actually got around 2.3 to 2.4 times return compared to the chemical fertilizers and other methods. Okay, so where the return is somewhere between 1.4 to 1.8, and majority of the farmers in that region are now open to accept this product for their further cultivations. And apart from that, during these 4 or 5 months, we have actually demonstrated our product in the coastal belts of Odisha, in all this 6 districts of Odisha. And now the people in the summer crop, which is starting from February, so they are willing to use it. Apart from that, actually, we have visited like the public water bodies in Puri, in Dhenkanal, and some of the places even actually in Bhubaneswar itself. And so majority of the places, okay, so they have adopted our product, and their public water bodies were cleaned within 7 to 12 days. So now actually we are hopeful that actually by this product, so we can actually whatever the things activities, being it is aquaculture or being it is your municipality works, so it will leave a zero water footprint. Apart from that, it will give a zero soil footprint also, apart from carbon footprint. So this is the way actually we want to transform the lives and sustainability as well as the food security for the future generations through our company.
That's very exciting, and the thought that we are bringing into this, and then the kind of motivation you have, landed with the farmers to adapt this kind of solution would definitely bring in the bigger corrections. What is happening, what has been planned as regulatory in Paris summit and stuff like that, really need to be initiated in kind of your places, Brahmagiri, Puri, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, and around. Then only the Paris summit's getting its results in the stipulated times. So thanks, doctor, for thinking, going out of your comforts of taking classes, sitting in AC labs. You have gone to the villages where there is sweaty, sunny, islands and villages, and putting your efforts to bring those sustainable conversions to, kind of preserve the soil fertility, preserve the water quality, and also as a whole the ambience environment. Thanks a lot. Keeping forward with the kind of discussion, the youngest entrepreneur that is with us is Sivasis Panda, who is also been convinced, kind of solving the problem that we face. Every one of us has lost somebody or struggled with the kind of last 2 years we have spent around. Sivasis thought to put together multiple devices which can be very handy and accurate and dependable to use at home, and bringing confidence to take care of yourself whenever you're not feeling good or whenever you are coming across some sort of health issues. Sivasis, can you please
Hi, sir.
what process, what sort of solution you have thought of to bring in a change in the space of healthcare, and make it more adaptable and handy for every user and also affordable. Please give us a small glimpse of your work that you're doing now. Can you please come in
Sure,
video?
sir. So actually, right now I'm in a village area, so the connectivity is poor. If I switch on my video, I'll lose the connection.
Let's see.
That is why
Let's see if you're losing or not. Please
just
do
a
it.
minute.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see.
Okay. So basically, this is Yashish. I'm the youngest of the lot here. Okay, youngest of the panelists. I also have the youngest startup, which is PK. So at PK, we design health assessment devices, health screening devices, which can monitor your heart, kidney, liver, pancreas health anytime, anywhere. So yeah. So
What sort of changes you want to see? What
responses.
problem could convince you to come to this particular solution to make? And what sort of problem, what sort of changes you want to see in what time span and all that? What are your goals and objectives you see out of it? Can you please?
Okay. So yeah. So basically, the idea here came because I'm from like a extended family. In my family, there is one diabetic, 3 high blood pressure patients. My mom is suffering from like influenza and extended case of influenza. So basically, and I've been living away from family since class 9. Okay, so I always like have a option where I can see, or maybe my family members can monitor their health holistically. But the problem is, while there are devices available in the market, let's say there is pulse oximeter in the market, there's digital thermometer in the market, there is also portable ECG devices now in the market, and there are BP machines. These sort of machines are in the market. But the problem is, when you purchase all of those devices to monitor your health, you cannot upload those data to a centralized dashboard, first of all, and you are also spending a lot of amount to purchase all of those devices, and a lot of them are non-invasive, are not non-invasive as well. So I thought, why not make a pain-free device which can take care of all those parameter monitoring and do it non-invasive in a non-invasive way. Also, there is the case of glucose monitoring. There is the case of hemoglobin monitoring. There are uh, almost a handful of devices in the world which can do these monitoring in a non-invasive way, and they cost more than 30 to 40,000. So what we are designing is a solution that can monitor your heart, lungs, kidney, liver, and pancreas health in a single package that is portable enough to be carried in a pocket. And you can also take the device with you anywhere. You can recharge it, use it all the time. You don't have to worry about pricking your finger or putting an electrode on your body or any other external peripherals. For taking a blood pressure measurement, you don't have to wear a cuff. So what our device is completely clinic, when the final model will be coming out, it will be completely clinically proven. So you don't have to worry about the measurements. Let's say you have a smartwatch. It also takes a SpO2 measurement or the pulse oximetry measurement. And it also, some of the smartwatches today can also show you your blood pressure measurement. But these are not accurate. You take this to a doctor, he would say, these blood pressure measurements is not accurate. You cannot rely on the blood pressure measurements or the SpO2 measurement from a smartwatch, but you can rely on the SpO2 measurement from a pulse oximeter. Why? Because pulse oximeters are tested and clinically approved. So just a few days back, I purchased a pulse oximeter and a digital thermometer, non-contact type for my sister. So the entire cost came around 4 to 5,000. Okay, so these are FDA approved devices. Now, if I put in the cost of adding a portable ECG device and a BP machine and a few other systems to check your hemoglobin and blood sugar, so the cost comes around 50,000 or so. Now, what we are trying to do here is, how can we do that in under 10,000? That is a 80% reduction in cost. And also, you don't have to carry 5 different devices. That is what we're trying to do here. So that's all about me and my startup. As you already said, I'm the youngest, so I have a lot to figure out, and we are figuring it out. We have a team of 8 people so far, and we just hired one today only. So I think that's all from my side.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sivasis. And I would now bring in someone who is, kind of associating with all these startups to understand their pain points, to understand and put together to make them go to the next level. They are none other but the change catalyst. They are the incubators. They are the folks working in the incubators. And a lady working with us here as a change catalyst is Putul Biswas. I would bring in Putul to know how she helps bringing in these leaders to the next level and indirectly indirect help creating the impact on the world at the segments they have targeted to work in. Putul, please.
So hello everyone, thank you so much BP for such a great introduction, and first of all wishing you all very happy new year. So let me tell you that incubators come up with a huge responsibility of supporting this transformational leaders to get into the destination of creating impact which they have planned for. So it's not an easy task or job to support these leaders in each point of time. It needs a huge back-end works to be done with them and along with them and their support. So what basically the role of incubators is confined to is we host startups from a very early stage and we take up till the place of impact creation. So in between there is a huge process associated with it. May it be understanding the problem they are solving, understanding the problem they are facing, and then drawing up to a like solution that which can have a good or better impact in both the ways. So we help in developing business models for startup which they can like create to have a go-to-market strategy build up. We help them getting an organizational structure, getting them a good workforce. So all this internal building is done in the incubator. So the startups get a full backend support and a build up like a better internal build up structure from the incubators. And there are other motivational factors which these leaders need to keep on building their own goal of reaching the impact. That can happen through like startups basically focus on fundraise, so that as an incubator we manage to put up fundraising like supports to our startup, then help them gaining different perspectives and help them plan to approach various funds like investors or VCs in the way they can make them more approachable towards them. So altogether, this helps the startups to grow more in a short span of time. And also we work for their goal together with them so that they shouldn't feel left out. And because we know that startups don't result immediately, it takes time. And till the time, we are there to support our startups for sure. So that is the change we bring on.
Thanks so much, Putul. It's really, kind of difficult and also a big work, big job to do. Is that the leaders are working on their own goals and the responsibility. They realize the responsibility of solving a problem, but owning all those problems as your problems, falling into their shoes and helping them to get to the next level, whatever they have thought of, or beyond that, is really a commendable job that the incubators do. And thanks you being dedicatedly working as a change catalyst in the system. This is the leaderships that are working. Just a glimpse. This is, it's not the whole spectrum of problem solvers that we have. The kind of people who are targeting a different part of the transformational world to solve and bring us comfort to the daily life. Let's say Dipti is bringing comfort when somebody is having a health emergency. Vishwa is bringing something, a good food, the rights of good food, the preserving the nature, preserving the environment. Satya is helping in many of the areas, starting from defense to disaster to many things that now if you look at your day-to-day, you start with a product or a service of a startup the day, and you also sleep with the product or services of a startup at the end of the day. So they have become so important for us. The kind of approach, objectives, solutions, everything that they bring us has become a very helping tool for us to tackle the changing world today. We never realize what is happening in the world because the solution is well handy with us through somebody around us working for it. And the putting together all these leaderships before you, ladies and gentlemen, is to understand the geometry, understand the landscape, how they come into existence, how these leaderships been motivated out of nothing, or out of the similar set of problems that everybody realizes, and also how do you take it forward, and how they have been deprived, underestimated from the zero. And also sometimes, we don't prefer our buddies to be entrepreneurs, to delay everything in terms of getting a job, in terms of generating revenue, in terms of roaming here and there, looking at the problems, trying to solving, log usko pagal hi bolte hai. So just to bring these leaderships before you and request you to understand what kind of work they are doing, and pamper, appraise, motivate, support this sort of leadership, which is very essential other than the kind of leadership we mean in a generic lay understanding. So this sort of leadership actually is required in our space. Opening the forum to put questions to understand more about these leaders and this space, how it works, and others, anything that comes to your mind. I welcome the audience to ask questions to the panelists if they have something to know about. If you raise your hands, I would allow you to put your question and the respective panel can answer your question. Please. Meanwhile, you decide, if you have any questions, what sort of questions you want to ask, or raise your hands.
Yeah, meanwhile, what I can do is basically, Bhagwati ji, I can show the entire audience what product that we are developing, how the leadership basically works in developing such a product. And are we basically, what does the leadership mean, and how the leadership basically try to solve a problem. So through a small video, if I am allowed to share the screen, I can basically show a video and then talk about it.
Yeah, you are a co-host. Please go ahead. And I request the audience to have their questions ready and raise their hands to be answered by all these panelists.
Yes. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
So, when you look at this video, you see, right? You see this is a product which can do cargo logistics, right? Cargo transportations, and be a great help to the logistic industry, right? But as a leader, when we start thinking about, a problem solution approach, what we are basically developing is a technology. See, it is coming in the form of product in your eyes, but the underneath technology is what is getting developed. And once the technology is built and the technology is proven, okay, maybe the technology is proven with some lifting capacity of the cargo, but you can inherently see, once the technology is proven, that same technology can be used to transport people, right? 200 kg is nothing but 2 people going in. And if you can autonomously do it number of times, say that 1000 times, 2000 times, and 5000 times, you keep doing this, then your technology is fully proven. Then you can actually lift, put passengers, put number of passengers, and do transportations between points. You can, at those times, you can imagine the level of problem that is there related to transportations, to the congestion, to the greenhouse gas emission, that, or the carbon net neutrality that the entire world is heading towards, right? That you can solve. So when from a leadership approach, when you look at a problem, look at how big of a problem that you're solving. Look at what actually are you developing. Are you just developing a product to solve one problem or a niche problem that you just seeing in your eyes? But or this technology, or you're not just developing a product, but you're developing a technology that is coming in form of the product right now that people are seeing, and that it's just helping some sector now, but it can be applied to a large variety of sectors, right? So through that leadership, what you're actually building a host of ecosystem around you, right? So imagine the when you develop such technology, and this technology going into e-commerce industry, right? There are many software companies who would be actually like Amazon, right? Is a platform where you are ordering your, right, a e-commerce platform where you're basically ordering your daily needs, right? And many other such company will come and integrate, right, take use of the, will take help of this technology to solve their challenges, that which is same day delivery, 2 hours delivery or 4 hours delivery, right? And a sustainable delivery. All that is what they can do. So as a leader, you always need to be really thoughtful when you are when you are working on a problem, applying it across, and understanding how big of an impact that you can create by doing that.
Yeah, thank you, Satya. So if you can, answer, yeah, so we can now come down to, with the kind of objectives or the space sectors you're working with, what are direct and indirect impacts that you're creating around your product? As you mentioned just now, that you're not just building one product, but you're bringing in a whole ecosystem, multiple stakeholders to consume the new product, and together building a solution. So an ecosystem is also developed in a new current, evolving sectors of problems, sectors of solutions, kind of that. An update is also coming in there. So that happens with every product and every group of people who work on a new problem statements in the transformational world today. So it's very important that not just this leadership, and then as you understand in the lay leadership also, leaders do something which to be followed by a lot of people. Here we don't do the typical leadership and follows kind of thing. Rather, we bring in everybody as a stakeholder and work together towards a bigger problem to be solved. If I sound good, then we would like to know from everybody what sort of impact, direct and indirect, they're creating out of building the solution for this kind of problem, testing, taking it to the people, the segment where they are, for whom they are building this kind of solution, including the incubators, what kind of impact and direct and indirect they're creating on. Vishnu, can you just bring in some light? What are the direct impacts you are creating through your product, and what all indirect stakeholding ecosystem kind of impact your product looks at while building the product at a glance?
Yeah. So the direct impact of this product is, like to, bring back the wasted soil to its normalcy. So wasted soil means, okay, wherever these municipal wastes are going, these flows are getting aggregated, and as well as in the aquaculture fields, okay, whatever the aquaculture slows being aggregated, so they are the one which are the breeding grounds of majority of the pathogenic bacteria and fungus, particularly the MDR strains, okay, from the medical waste coming through the municipal waste and ultimately going to the rivers and then the nearby lakes. So these are the ones actually, in near future, which will create lots and lots of, this public healthcare problem. So our product is not only maintaining the soil and water quality of the public water bodies or the, these private aquaculture water bodies, rather it is solving actually a major public health problem by reducing the multi-drug resistance bacterial or fungal formation in public water bodies by 90%. So because, and another thing what we are solving is, like people are releasing these antibiotics and these antifungal, antimycotics and antiviral things, okay, in the aquaculture fields. So which are actually, residing in that water and in that soil, which if it is released to the nearby water bodies, so it will create lots and lots of MDR strains. So our product is actually reducing all those bacteria and the fungus by 90 to 97% in that water body, so that this public health hazard is decreased by 90% using this product, apart from protecting the soil and water. And other thing which I can say, if we are doing a one culture aquaculture, one crop of aquaculture for 4 months. So 1 acre land, it contains around 150,000 liters of water into 4 months. So, around 6 lakh liters of water being used for a single crop in 1 acre. So if the entire water is being released in its polluted form, so means in that aquaculture pond, okay, even if they will be earning, around 4 tons, which will be around 12 lakh rupees, but their water footprint is 6 lakh liters of water from a single pond. But if they are using our product and releasing that water to the water bodies, so the water footprint is immediately coming down to 0, because so that water is no more polluted. That is actually purified water. So these actually, and another thing what we are doing is this, if a pond is being cultivated for 5 years, using these high-end chemicals. So after 4 or 5 years, so there will be no return from that pond. It is completely wasted. So means we are leaving a soil footprint, a 1 acre soil footprint within 5 years. So using this particular products, okay, the soil fertility is maintained and the quality is maintained in such a way that whatever it is in the first year, after 100 years also, it will be the similar condition. So the soil footprint will be also reduced to 0. So not only it will actually give a, food security for future generations, it maintains nature, 0 water footprint, 0 soil footprint, and also a aquaculture return of 2.4 times, along with 0 environmental impact.
So I see some sort of a translational leadership here is that, if a political leader comes and preach about saving the environment, they'll be holding placards, they will be giving speeches, they'll be bringing in, girls, boys, having, march and all that, speaking something, don't do this, don't do that, and don't do it. But people couldn't actually able to do that because it hits their economy, it hits their livelihood and all that. But the way the entrepreneurs comes in, the technology they bring in to the kind of similar leadership preaching, like you say now, don't pollute water. How do you say? You say with a solution in hand, which is more affordable, and people can use it, and also they get the water clean. They don't get infected. The water remains, the ecosystem remains very optimal. So all that happens, and simultaneously, if I see the other side of yours product, the solution your product is providing is that you don't pollute the water in aquaponics, aquaculture, and push it to the seas or lakes or something like that. Rather, you help people getting their livelihood in a better way, like in chemical treatment, they were getting X, now they're getting 1.5X. Having the water very clean, they can discharge the water any places because it's having 0 water footprint. So, this is the different versions of leadership that you bring in. The people have their livelihood intact or more better, and also they are putting efforts to save the environment and all. So I just want to preach and also push you guys to understand the kind of leadership you're living in day to day. It's not just a problem you're solving, rather the kind of leadership you're bringing in. You brought hundreds of farmers together. The guys who were not looking at doing aquaculture are now being a part of it. So that's again a different leadership you're bringing in the village grassroots level. People are coming on with self-dependent economic model for aquaculture, which is very less afford, very less to afford there. Okay, you're replacing thousands of rupees of maintenance with a 2,000 rupees of a packet for the whole season. So the economic dependability is also much more in your product. So you bring a lot of people to work in there. That's also encouraging village people to come in, work on a sustainable livelihood model is also very huge impactful leadership that you're bringing in for people as a solution. So you must understand with the product, with the science and technology, with the laboratory development, you also do something very mass leadership, do something very environmental leadership, do something very livelihood kind of leadership with you, Dr. Pradhan. Don't feel low. You're doing a big job. You're doing a great job. That's why I have called you guys to understand that what sort of leadership you're translating with the kind of science and technology you're working with. Thanks a lot. I would also bring in, the aspects of Mo Ambulance, like what direct and what indirect impacts Mo Ambulance is bringing in through his solutions made for a particular segment or a particular stage of people. Can you just spell it out, Dipti, for the audience?
Actually, this ambulance sector, if we look at the emergency healthcare sector, nobody is looking at this gray area, ambulance. It is the last milestone. So everybody is looking at the, okay, you can make a big ICU, you can have the best doctor, everything. But if you look at this ambulance sector, it is a very gray area. Why it is gray area? Because this ambulance driver, they are somewhat uneducated, something else. And nobody is getting into this gray area because we need to bring a very revolution change and need to educate, need to bring the technology and need to from traditional to technology, all these things. So nobody is getting into this. And also it is with respect to, if you look at the ambulance, it is very, it is not cost optimized. And also it is not technology oriented. So people are not getting into this sector because it is a very challenging job. We need to go to the depth level of this ambulance sector. So, but at the same time, it is a vital sector. So with respect to that, I observed from last 2 years and also have a discussion with the National Health Mission policy worker, why we are not using all these things to bring in a disciplined manner. So thing is that the WHO is having a guideline, okay, on 50,000 population, we need to have one ambulance. At the same time, government is providing 108, 102, 104 ambulance. Still we have the ambulance. But if you look at the requirement, if we call any ambulance, it is not coming in at the right time. So these are the biggest gap in the ambulance sector. So with a all challenge, I take the step, no, let us move to this area, which is we need to be social impact. At the same time, we can have a discipline for this ambulance sector. So let us look at this, because when I started this concept, during that time I have not observed many things like ambulance are they are uneducated. Even also when you move to the ambulance, they don't have any driving license also. Even also they don't have any certificate like for the ambulance, no certification for the RTO. So these are the vital things. That is why people are not coming, or the entrepreneur are not coming to bring a revolution in the ambulance sector. But it's a challenging job. So it's now it is coming to the leadership. So how we can bring this revolution with all the challenges. So let us hope for the best.
Thank you so much, Dipti. Like the many people joining you, understanding your kind of problem you're leading to solve for people, like National Highway Authority, like National Health Mission, like other, very brand hospitals, everybody is joining you, understanding what kind of problem you're solving. People join you when you understand, if you lay leadership, people join you when you are solving a good cause and show some leadership. So you never underestimate that, yes, I'm just solving a problem and I'm an entrepreneur, I'm struggling. No, when people started joining you, you must realize that, yes, I'm solving a true problem and I'm creating a leadership to dissipate my thought process to various other stakeholders and bring it together to bring a good team and good network to get your solution, get your the kind of impacts that you want to create, maximize to the segment, to the people you have made it for. That's really commendable. And the world is ready to support you when you think different, when you're bringing something very tangible and significant to solve for people. Like Satya told, Satya is trying to solve for logistics. Satya is trying to solve for defense. Satya is trying to solve for disaster management. Other leaders are also solving there. And he's bringing something very revolutionary for those sectors. He yet chalked out certain unsolved areas in those sectors. So when he promotes his solution as a leader, the leaders from those respective sectors also come in and join. Like Gati wants to join Satya. Like defense people, a couple of colonels have joined Satya to solve the defense problem, make him realize, make him understand more the space of defense. Like disaster management happens the same. So all the sectors, all the segments that you're solving, people are already solving it. And when you do something different and impactful, people join you together and you together solve it and create a bigger and larger impact. So that's what we have understood leadership from the very boyhood, and we are doing it. And just you need an interpretation, you need a translation that what you are doing is your true leadership, a risky leadership, not a very vendetta-based leadership and all that. We don't need anybody to promote us, but our innovations do promote us, bring people attracted to us, and solve it in a bigger way. Thank you so much. I would come to the incubator perspective of impact creation. How the incubator helps these leaders and the space have impacts created so that more people join as entrepreneurs. The leaders clan becomes much more larger, much more tiny to bigger problems be solved in the space, and the life becomes more easy and the world becomes more better place to live. Putul, could you bring me certain points which you guys working in and bring direct and indirect impacts in the kind of space that you are looking at, please?
Yeah. So like being an incubator, I'll just crisp the direct impact confined to startups only, because startups are like playing a like bigger role in transformational leadership. So we'll just put like generating and developing a good impact model for startups. So an impact model for startups will be involving revenue generation for them, a good structured way where they can gain a knowledge about their product market fit, their go-to-market strategies, and how can they like create their own impacts by putting up patents and being unicorns, IPOs. So all these things are the direct impacts that we create in terms of startups, because we incubate them, we work for them, we support them. So all these are some visualized change we need to see in our startups by their growth in each process and each stage. But other than that, incubators play a major role in the ecosystem as well. There is a responsibility to build up the ecosystem, the chapter, and that somehow is like done through strengthening the internal ecosystem. The major part of internal ecosystem is being played by educational hub and students. So it becomes very important to strengthen the mind of students and clear them about the process of entrepreneurship and make them aware about how this entrepreneurship can be implemented. Most of them have just the definition of entrepreneurship, but not the process of getting implemented and inculcating in the real life scenario. So giving them this practical exposure becomes very like necessity for the ecosystem to grow. So we as an incubator and planning with catchment partners, like we are getting associated to very different zones of colleges with different like streams, where all the students can come together and work for a particular problem to strengthen the ecosystem and bring solution to. We also are working somewhere to develop an organization, an incubator as a whole, by seeing the potentiality of certain institutes. We are helping them to create the sector focus and put up expertise of their sectors and work in that particular sector as an incubator, so that they could provide their expertise to the upcoming entrepreneurs and startups that will help growing them and that will help them stuffing with the necessary information and resources. So this pre-incubation model of like educational hubs is very important. Unless we will be helping them in this pre-incubation model and they will be gaining certain knowledge about how these incubators perform, then only they can be a good incubator to again nurture incubators under them. So this whole cycle will somehow move like from one to other, so that this role of incubators will get more effective in terms of getting more successful startup stories in the ecosystem.
Oh, thanks so much, Putul. It's like, in a state like Odisha and the states where there is no ecosystem being very rugged and systematic, you have to look at the ecosystem development also, other than the startups being nurtured in your cohorts of incubator. Thanks a lot for bringing us the kind of information where you create direct and indirect impacts in your operations. There are a couple of questions in the chat box. I would like the respective panelists can answer it. Let me read out for you all. Who you want to pick? Who want to pick an answer in this bit? What should be? This is a very generic question, Satya. You have been there in the space for a decade around innovation, not exactly drones and aerospace. Can you just say these basics? What should be the source of innovation for a successful leader?
Okay, so the first and foremost, we need to be very clear with fundamentals. It is passion. What will drive you forever? For that matter, anything that you do, but in this space, it also holds true that that is your passion. So how passionate are you in solving the problems that you see in this space? And again, you need to be a macro focused, where you are looking at the whole solution. At the same time, you need to be very minute, looking at a problem that you can do within 3 months. You can solve it in 3 months, and then in 6 months, right? You can't build a whole bunch of vehicle or its vehicle ecosystem in 3 to 6 months. But what can you do in 3 months? You can look at a very small problem, maybe propulsion system, something like motor. Today, motor technologies are giving you motor technologies are developed because of this EV, right? All electric vehicles. And if you look at these are performing some 5 to 7 grams per watt, as in that's the, they can give you per kilowatt, say per kilowatt, they can give you X amount of X amount of basically torque. And we translate it to in aviation terms, it is basically grams per watt. Can you achieve more? If you are a motor expert, or you have fundamentals clear, you can actually look at that, you can try and achieve more, then that becomes an innovation. And if you continue doing that passion, then you actually form, develop a company who actually can manufacture motors, which is giving 10 watts per gram, 15 watts per gram, like kind of an efficiency out of that motor. And if you get to that efficiency, then you'll be unique, right? So one example, again, you can look at, battery is another area. Battery is developed because of electric vehicles around us, right? Because batteries are used in solar panels, just, besides the solar panels. So because of many use cases, basically batteries, energy density of the batteries are increasing. Can you increase somehow, the watt per kilogram, the efficiency of the batteries, right? So, if you actually are solving, these are very hard problems that you would be solving. And in my, I'll say one word, it is passion.
Thank you so much, Satya. The next question is again somewhere
Bhagwat, see,
fundraise and fund. Yeah,
Bhagwat, I want to add little bit to Satya's,
please,
this thing. Yeah.
please.
So what should be the source of motivation of a successful leader? Like if we want to be a successful leader, we won't be. So generally, a motivation comes from some sort of liability. All of us are actually liable to return back to the society what we get from the society. So we have to actually, find out a social problem, what is there, and take that problem as the liability on yourself and try to solve it. Then only, during the course of solving this problem, we ourselves will become a successful leaders. Yeah, so that is the gist of this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very true, Dr. Pradhan. So I think Ashutosh is convinced with the answer from the leaders. The next goes for fundraise and all. I would prefer, more ambulance since Bonvi are in already experienced a little bit in angel rounds. So I would ask them to give a little glance on this. Shahid is asking, what in your opinion, what in the opinion of your leaders is important route for startups to go public? What is the important route for startups to go public, IPO or SPAC? If so, what is the timeline to go public after conceiving the startups? Satya, you want to answer?
Yeah, so it basically depends in a due course of time. When you run the business, you will really understand what is best suited for you, right? It is at a point of time, basically IPO and or SPAC is a decision that you actually make when you are a bit old and you have raised actually series of investment, right? And it also depends on your stakeholders. What type of stakeholders do you have, as in particularly the investor stakeholders that you have? Because you would have taken some funds from a VC, and that VC would be maturing its fund. They need to return to the PE fund from where they actually have brought and given you the fund. They may not have time. So if all that is the case, then SPAC is a very good option, right? You can form actually a special purpose acquisition company and can basically go public. Or if you have actually time, you're building a great product and you really believe strongly in that, and going IPO, you can offer it to public directly. So you can also go IPO. It depends on your stakeholders.
Okay, thanks a lot for the information. Saeed is convinced. There's a question for both of you. Data helps you a lot to size your product. So what is the contribution of data science? Somebody has specified more ambulance, but both of you can answer it. I would like Deepti to come in on first. Data science, how is it a part of your service design, product design, and how it can help you?
Yeah, exactly. Because data science with respect to healthcare service is a major part. So whether it is before making any type of application or after making, so it has pre and post evaluation type of thing, whether it is a social impact. So like in my case, Mo Ambulance case, so moving to the application designing and to the public, we need to have the data with respect to the what type of ambulance is available and what is the location of this and what is their credential with respect to government statutory, and with respect to the then coming back to the hospital, what are the service available with respect to emergency healthcare. Then after that, when we are moving to the B2C model, so that is again data science is coming. Suppose let's say if any patient is fixing any type of ambulance, we are having the data science with respect to what type of disease, what sort of problem he or she has. So accordingly, we are matching with the hospital, and also at the same time we are matching with the available type of ambulance. So definitely data science is a major role in making this Mo Ambulance. Without data science, we cannot go ahead So whether it is normal data or any depth level data.
Yeah. So the person who was asked, I think he would get even a clarity on how Satya's product has also so much of data dependence, and how data science can also have a perspective there in his innovation. Satya, does it work for you, or data
Yes,
important for your
definitely.
service and
I
product?
can give you through an example which actually people can relate and understand to is data science in terms of predictive maintenance. So these days, the entire new era of maintenance is all predictive maintenance. You don't actually, these type of vehicles which actually costs more. They, you don't wait for it to break down and then you call for parts. The part will come from some part of the world, right, and it will reach you in a couple of months time, and then you'll be basically waiting. The part comes and then the technician comes and fix it, which was the regular way that the aviation industry or even those shipping industries and those were working, right? The thing has changed, and it's all because of the data. And the data science has brought this part of predictive maintenance, where huge amount of data are created at every moment from the vehicle itself, and a predictive maintenance through through that. So it's a if you look at the AI and predictive maintenance so well working out in robotics, in EVs, and in aviation space right now, that it opens up a huge opportunity for new for the newbies.
Great. So that's quite ample, and information for the people to understand how your process and service has a data dependency and how it can help. Dipti, do you know GKVI ambulance? And if you can give a comparison of innovation aids that you have over GKVI ambulance, please.
Right.
Sibram Nayak sir is asking for this.
Right. So normally with the advanced version like GKVI or Medulance or some of the major tech in the ambulance sector, they are mostly tracking the ambulance. But but that is not the end-to-end solution. But in Mo ambulance case, we are having the innovation, like we are having the end-to-end solution. Let's say example, I am the patient and I'm using my Mo ambulance application, and we are fixing a destination, let's say Apollo Hospital. So we are at the same time, we are having another application for the Apollo Hospital, so that they can track the vehicle, what type of patient is coming to the Apollo Hospital, so that we can minimize this 60 hours. Even also at the same time, the emergency department should be ready with the doctor, specialist doctor, so that the time should be minimized. And at the same time, we are doing another innovation, IoT-based cloud monitoring. Once the patient is onboarding to the ambulance, we are integrating the IoT device in which we can monitor the vital parameter during the emergency time. That is also monitored in the hospital level, so that once the patient is reached at the hospital, during that time the patient should be stable. So this is the major innovation in which nobody has developed these things. Mostly the GKVI or Medulance, they are onboarding the ambulance and they give the access to the ambulance.
Great. So thank you everybody for putting your questions and learning from the leaders and taking a perspective to take it forward. With a request and some open invitation, like all of these leaders are working in association with academics, industries, corporates, incubators, funders. So we all who are attending here are also very important stakeholder for these leaders. They are growing with various universities, extending a chunk of work to be done, research and development in various parts. And you can also have a glimpse of work, extension, advancement in products from them, and also building the kind of, let's say, if there are professors from other universities, students from other universities, from our university, should understand, should be inspired with the kind of problem picking, with the kind of thought to take it forward with the kind of association, bringing in joining with various stakeholders, how these innovative hitting problems have been solved in an innovative idea, with an innovative idea, and with a very structured approach with an incubator. And also, as an incubator, we also open and invite you to have any such thought process to bring in internal ecosystem strengthened, to bring in association for building incubators in your campus, all direct and indirect impacts, all direct and indirect associations with the audience for the future, collaboration and extension. Thank you so much for being there with us, and with a request to support the thought of creating such leadership, with a request to support students, youngsters, sons and daughters at your home who is working on some innovation to hit a good, intense problem around. Don't discourage them. Hope you join hands with them. Hope you connect to us to make them more structured, and together we solve for the very fast transforming world and bring more sustainability and adaptability to the world around us. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Over to Manoj Gopalia, sir, to conclude the session officially from your side.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bhagwati ji. It was a wonderful, I think around 1 hour, 40 minutes session. Fantastic session, sir. And it's an honor to have all these dignitaries on board, and we try to be a part of your journey and all. I hope the audience has learned a lot. I think I have met many of you in one of our previous interactions also. So it's always good to hear your story, the way you have challenged the obvious and you try to provide a solution to the problem which many people are facing in. It's always good to hear from the startup people, because you are the inspiration for the coming world. So once again, Bhagwati ji, it's a fantastic coordinated event as usual, and it is not the last. We are going to have it many more.
Yeah, we are there.
I totally agree with Bhagwati ji. It's an academia who has to support this entrepreneurship culture and all. It's not like floating a course and completing the grades or something. We have to encourage the young mind to challenge the obvious. They should. Okay, I think one of the participants has raised the hand. Ma'am, please go ahead. I think Urmila ma'am wants to come in.
Okay.
Please
Is she
go
able to come in? Yeah.
I think Urmila ma'am, I think Urmila ma'am, I have allowed you to unmute. You can go ahead, ma'am.
Urmimala.
Okay.
Amnesia allowed to unmute and speak?
Yeah, I have done that. And she has unmuted, but we could not hear her. Ma'am, can you please try one more time?
Or you can write in the chat box.
Oh yeah, that will be great if you can write there.
I would request the startups to put their, the panelists to put their email IDs. If anybody has any questions, they can definitely reach out to you.
Yeah.
Please put your email IDs in the chat box, making to everyone.
Yeah, and being a closing of the session, I have allowed all of you to unmute and switch on the videos. So come at your will. In the meantime, our experts put the email. And once again, a request to all the academia that it's our collective responsibility to make this dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat come true. It should not remain a phrase. We have to contribute as well in that direction.
True.
And, yeah, I think ma'am, maybe she could not. Ma'am, one last time I'm asking, do you want to say something, or shall we formally close the session? We will be more than happy to answer if you have any queries. Maybe not. Okay, great. So, sir, thank you once again to all the experts, all the startup leaders here, and to share your journey and all. And I could tell you the kind of feedback you can see in the chat box. They all have appreciated the thing, and I think being a faculty or a teacher or maybe HOD or a dean somewhere, they are going to use it, this particular experience, to encourage their student to think in that direction. And that is what our aim is. We want our student to be a job creator. That should be the aim. I think, Hilosa, do you want to say anything? Some last word? Please.
Hello, is it audible?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, no, nothing to say. Actually, I know that where that Bhagwati sir is the moderator is a wonderful session always. So it's a nice, is a nice presentation and nice brainstorming. Actually, basically, I guess that is a lots of things are we are learning from here. And I think that all the participants also get some knowledge regarding of this. Thank you so much, and that thank you, Gopalia sir, to that you have included to that that IIC in this forum. So thank you so much.
So thank you, Hilosa. And yes, sir, please. You want to say something, Bhagwati ji? Yeah.
No, I'm saying thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much once again for the participant. We are going to meet again tomorrow morning sharp at 9:30. By the time, have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.